Shabbat Shalom, everyone, on this Shabbat Devarim, the very first chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, the last book in the 5 books of Moshe. I'm going to share with you some relatively unusual teaching this morning, which is going to end up with me singing Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev's Kaddish, which is one of the most treasured pieces of musical literature in our canon. But before we get there, I suspect that, like me, many of you sometimes have difficulty with being criticized. Yes? Receiving criticism is often difficult, most difficult when it is given without love. When it is given sometimes for the very sake of criticizing. Some people like to do that. But there's something different. The word in Hebrew, tochacha, rebuke, has to be done with love. The person who is receiving it needs to know that you're on their side. They're on your side. That they will do everything to support you, including calling you on things when needs need to be called. And so, at the beginning of our parsha, this is exactly what happens, but in a very cryptical manner. The first line of the parsha, with the word Devarim, of course. Eila ha-Devarim, asher diber Moshe el kol Yisrael be'ever hayarden, Eila Devarim. These are the words that Moshe addressed to all Israel on the other side of the Jordan. Other side of the Jordan, of course, we're readying to enter the land of promise. Then the pasuk, the line, goes on to say, in the desert, in the plain opposite the Red Sea, between Paran and Tofel and Lavan and Chazerot and Dizahav. Now you may notice that I underlined some of these names of places. Why have I done that? Well, Rashi, let's lean on him. Now, when you study Rashi, as in many of our texts and commentaries, you'll find a word or two words that are then going to be unpacked. And so Rashi, this is why I put it in red, Rashi's going to unpack these first 2 words, Eila ha-Devarim. These are the words. Lefi shehein divrei tochachot. These are words of rebuke, Rashi says. Umana kan kol hamakomot shehisu lifnei hamakom bahen. So what does this mean? That Moshe is recounting all of the places in which God was angered by our actions. Because these are words of reproof, and the text, Moshe, is enumerating here the places where provoked God to anger. So, but these are places that are not even mentioned, some of them, in the text. Well, let's dig a little bit deeper, because how can there be names of places that were not mentioned? I don't know. This is Rashi quoting Reb Yochanan. We review the entire Torah and have not found places called Tofel or Lavan. Rather, this means that Moshe admonished them for their words of dispute, in Hebrew, Tofel, concerning the manna, which was Lavan, white. There, of course, is collecting the manna, which we complained a little bit about. And then we come to this place called Di Zahav, or I'm going to say Dai Zahav. Now, what does Dai mean? You know what die means. Die, eno, die, right? It's die is enough. So what about this place? named Dai Zahav. You're going to have to roll your mind back on Torah a long, long way. It means enough gold. Dai Zahav. And what does that refer to? The golden calf, in which Aaron needs to say to all of the people, especially the women, enough gold. Enough gold. We have enough gold. So, you're beginning to see how Moshe's rebuke is couched here in the names of places. Things get pretty specific about what the people are being rebuked about. Well, let's continue. Dai Zahav. What do these words mean? Now, they said in the school of Rabbi Yanai, thus spoke Moses before the Holy One, sovereign of the universe, the silver and gold, the Zahav, which you showered on Israel until they said enough, was what caused them to make the calf. Oh, interesting. Are you picking up on the fact that who is the fall guy here? It's God. It's God's the fall guy, or fall girl, take it as you may, the fall them. Taking the blame in this commentary, you gave the people too much gold. Of course they were going to get in trouble. Of course they were going to build the calf. Check this out. Rabbi Chia ben Arba said, it's a mashal. It's like the case of a man who had a son. He bathed him and anointed him and gave him plenty to eat and drink and hung a purse around his neck and set him down at the door of the house of ill repute. If you give a mouse a cookie, right, it leads to temptation to go astray. Now, this all leads me back to where I started, with Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev. And here he is. Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, many stories are told about how he interceded with heaven on behalf of the Jewish people, always, always with love. Here's a story about Levi Yitzchak. He once saw a Jew smoking a cigarette or a cigar, I don't know what it was, but he was smoking on Shabbos. Rabbi Yitzchak approached the man and he said to him, my friend, surely you've forgotten that it's Shabbos. No, not at all, replied the man. I know what day it is perfectly well. Well then, surely you have forgotten that it's forbidden to smoke on Shabbat. No, I know very well, it's forbidden. That surely you know. You must be thinking about something else and you forgot that it's Shabbos. You forgot that you lit a cigarette. You just did it like habitually. No, I knew what I was doing. Well, at this, Reb Levi Yitzchak turned his eyes upward to heaven and said, Rabbi Shel Olam, sovereign of the universe, who is like your people Israel? I give this man every chance, and still he cannot tell a lie. Rebbe Yitzchak thinks the best of people all of the time. He is the defender of Yisrael, right? Seeing the good in perhaps a not yet good story. What if he'd been critical of the man? I suspect he would have pushed the man further away. He opened his hands, and who knows how this man's life progressed. So Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berdichev wrote a song in which he takes Rabbeinu Shel Olam to task for all of the tsuras that we Yidden have gone through, are going through at the time that he lives. And I would like to share with you a recording of me singing this in Yiddish as I share with you the words to Levi Yitzchak's Kaddish.
Guten Morgen, dir Ribono shel Olam. Ich, Levi Yitzchak, ben Soira, mi Berdichev. Bin gekommen zu dir mit deiner Teure von deinem Volk Israel. Was hast du zu deinem Volk Israel? Und was hast du sich eingesetzt auf dein Volk Israel? Als was nur a Sach ist Bnei Israel. Als wo nur a Kuk ist Morel Bnei Israel. Als wo nur a Wort ist Daber el Bnei Israel. Tatenyo, kamoyoy Moshe boyolam. Parsayim, Babalayim, Adoyamayim. Deing, leder sagen sayr malchut is a malchut. Diese Tal, ihr never sagen sayr, König is a König. Und ich, Levi Yitzchak ben Sora, mi Berdichev Sok, Hamelech, Hayo Voishev, Al Kisei Ram, Veniso. Und ich, Levi Yitzchak ben Sora, mi Berdichev Sok, Loech mi makomi, ich will von Orten nicht weg gehen, und an Ecke soll es nehmen, und a Safa soll schön sein. Noyit Gadol, Veit Kawadash Shemay Rabbah.
We have Rabbi Levi Yitzchak taking God to task for all of the tsuras we've gone through. But what happens at the end? What happens at the end? He has to say, Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. He has to declare God's eternal greatness. And so, my sweet friends, on this Shabbos day, may our critiques and criticism always be offered with love, and may we receive the same with ease and with grace. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.